Hi, Zizaran here, and today we're gonna craft bows. So we're gonna be using Path of Exile to show this, and I'm gonna cover like the simplest bow and then some fractured bows. I'm not gonna be covering Toxic Rain Hunter bows. Those are in the notes of the TR guide as well. But I wanna talk a little bit more about how to make bows for explosive arrow. So ideally you want a short bow or a grove bow. The reason you want these instead of thicket is because thicket has a way higher dex requirement, and there's no big benefit to having more flat fizz. It doesn't do anything, and you ideally want at least item level 86. This is so you can get 100% elemental damage with attacks. However, before we start, we'll show the super easy with the 6-linked short bow card. So that's a 6-link short bow, and that's at item level 50. Now, an important thing is this cannot naturally get +2, which means you have to use a Shrieking or Deafening Dread Essence. Doesn't matter which one. And you're just spamming until you get, ideally, attack speed. And then sometimes you might have to annul off another prefix, because you do need one open prefix. Hopefully you get attack speed in less than 30-40 dreads. And this is like a temporary bow, because ideally you want a different bow for endgame. This did like randomly hit +3. Now you could just craft flat attack speed and this would be okay, but it wouldn't really be a very good bow. That would be a very, very temporary bow. So to have a useful bow, you want to hit at least 10 or 13 attack speed. We're being incredibly unlucky. So here, now we would need to annul off the fire damage. So we've annulled off the fire damage. Now we're going to do cannot roll attack mods. This costs 1 divine. And then we use 1 exalted orb. And this is guaranteed to make +3. Now after this, we craft the minion attack speed. And then you need the minion attack speed nodes that convert it into normal attack speed. Like this. Then craft that until you get 28. There. And now this is a really, really good bow. This can do all the normal bosses like Maven, Elder, Uber Elder, etc. But it's going to struggle to do the Ubers. So now we want to item level 86 or higher short bow or grove bow. And there's a couple of things. So sometimes you'll have somebody have a fractured +2. This is actually pretty usable. What this does is it ends up saving you the cost of using dreads. And you can now use Zeals instead. So now we use Deafening Zeals. And you now use Deafening Zeals until you hit tier 2 or higher. You could argue tier 3 or higher. Elemental damage with attacks. Now you would annul off 1 suffix. And you do the same thing. You cannot roll attack modifiers. And you exalt. Now you have a pretty okay bow, and you can craft minion attack speed or dot multi. You need to get like 2.3% attack speed. So if you can get 2.3 without having the minion nodes and stuff, then yeah, you could probably get away with not crafting it. But don't let POB trick you and set the explosions to 20 when you don't actually have 20 explosions. But yeah, this would be a pretty good bow. The absolute best thing you could get would be fractured dot multi. So let me show you that first. And this is a pretty expensive craft. These are all starting to get more expensive. So let's find damage over time multiplier. And let's say that we have fractured tier 1. Now this is pretty nice because the prefixes are pretty easy. You usually get the prefixes in less than 200 or 300 dreads. So you basically spam until you hit tier 2 or higher elemental damage with attacks. Like that, and then you will break it quite a lot. Tier 3 is not that bad, but I'm personally going for tier 1, but with the damage over time multiplier. That is pretty nice. You could do that. You also need to annul off 1 suffix, and I've actually had this bow similar hit very many times and then bricked with the annuls, so it can use quite a lot. Now you do again cannot roll attack modifiers. You exalt. And now you can do prefixes cannot be changed. And then you scour. Then you do prefixes cannot be changed. And then you tier 4 Ashling. Now, the reason you don't do Veiled Chaos Orb is that can fill up the suffixes. And now, before you unveil, you craft the power charges or frenzy charges, if I can find it. Because that blocks things. And then now you unveil and you can do... this one would be good. Let's see how often we hit good ones. This one would be fine, attack speed. This makes it easier to drop the minion nodes. You could also be unlucky and hit nothing good. That sucks. Don't do that. Ideally hit something good. And getting fire damage over time multiplier would be pretty good for this bow. But yeah, I think this would be my favorite to hit because I want to try to drop the minion nodes. And then after that, you could just craft flat attack speed. Another thing we could do as well is you can do this. And then your prefixes cannot be changed. And now you do harvest. This ends up being very expensive. This is 20,000 yellow juice each time, plus an Oshabi thing. And then you do this until you hit high attack speed, tier 2 or higher. And now you craft either the attack speed while rare or unique is nearby if you don't have enough, or minion attack speed, or damage over time multiplier. And then obviously having fractured tier 2 or tier 1 attack speed is also pretty good. And it would be similar to this bow. So this is some examples of how to craft a bow. Hope that helps you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sub if you liked the video, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.